my name is Genefa Murphy. I am from HP Software with a giant aircraft carrier. I'm envious of a lot of you in the room who are able to move a lot more nimbly and quickly because we are the giant, but we still believe, as Guy was saying, a big focus for us on customer success. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about what we're doing in HP Software to really focus around customer success. But before I do that, I'll give a sort of quick intro. Most of you probably know HP Software, but in terms of our size and scale and why this is so important for us, but also a challenge for us, and we've had some key learnings as we've been going through this journey. Probably over the past year or two, we've had the past 18 months of real focus on this. We have over 50,000 customers. We're about a $4 billion company. Now, why is that important, 50,000 customers? I have within my team just over 25 people, and I find it difficult to have structured one-on-ones with them on a weekly basis. I feel like that's all I do. I just do one-on-ones with my team. So from a customer perspective, when you've got 50,000 customers, trying to create an environment where it's still personal and it's still one-on-one and you're still trying to get that level of cadence and belief with your customers is a particular challenge, and is actually even more important because you don't want them to fall through the cracks. Because what you don't want to happen is that today you've got 50,000 customers and you turn around at the corner and your competitors have taken half of them. So for us, this is a really important topic, and we've done a lot of investment in it. So if I look at sort of the model that we have today, okay, traditionally where we've sort of taken the approach, you've got on this side sort of the high customer intimacy. That's normally our sales rep. Okay, so our direct sales rep, they have the relationships with the customers. It is a one-to-one relationship in some cases, but often it's a one-to-many just because of the sheer size of our accounts. Okay, but those sales reps, they know the customers, they know what they've got deployed, they know our portfolio, they can build those relationships. And then on the other side of the house, you've got right now, or in the past I rather should say, was what we had with low intimacy. That was the web. Okay, we're an on-premise company and we're a SaaS company. Okay, so we've got a little bit of both. So definitely for our on-premise customers, when they were getting downloads or downloading white papers and brochures or trials and things like that, demos over the web, very low intimacy, very high volume. Okay, but a lot of those customers, they're our prospects. Okay, they're our customers of the future. They're the people we have to nurture. So what we said is what we need to do is we need to actually combine and transform. Okay, so we need to take some of the best practices that we've been applying on the web and which apply to SaaS-based companies. We need to also take the value of having a person and a personal relationship and bring those two together. So the next slide that I'm going to show you is a bit of an eyesore slide. So wait for it. I am HP after all. So if you actually look at it, this shows really what our end-to-end process is. And we are already a good way through implementing this within our business. We started off with our software as a service products, and we did some launches last year, and we've had software as a service for quite a while now. And we're moving this now to also be something that we do for the rest of our portfolio of 50+ products for our on-premise customers. But what's really important is there are a couple of key stages in here which are really important. And some of the things that I want to point out, for example, you'll see at the beginning a real targeted effort for us in being, to Guy's point about being proactive, being proactive how we engage with customers. Not every customer wants the same experience. Not every customer wants a webinar, a data sheet, an infographic, a white paper. There's different types of experiences that we need to provide for our customers. So what we're doing is we're putting a lot of effort into identifying and segmenting our customers appropriately so that we can actually see, well, how do we have that conversation with them? How do we find the appropriate level of intimacy? Because the other thing you have to remember with customer success, yeah, it's great when you've got data, it's great that you can be proactive, and you should definitely do that, but at the same time, you don't want to do overkill. You don't want to be constantly popping up live chat screens, live person screens, and all these different things, when someone's just trying to find a simple bit of information about what a product does. So you need to find that balance. So we're doing a lot of things in the front end, not about just, investing in, search engine optimization and search engine marketing and different events and webinars, but also categorizing our customers appropriately. The other thing we're doing as well is making sure that we have what we call this value coach. Okay? So the value coach is something, it is a new role that we've implemented. Again, started probably 18 months ago or more. And it's a specific role, it's a sort of subset of our bigger support organisation. And what their role is to really handhold the customers along the way. From the moment that the customer comes in and they want to get more information or do a proof of concept or even just get support with a trial or with a demo, being available for them and also helping them to, what Guy mentioned before, talk about the business value. It's not about features. We're not completing, requests for proposals with checklists. Unfortunately, we have to do those things. But at the same time, we're also trying to work with our customers to understand what's their problem and then how can we expose to them the right features, the right capabilities, the right offerings we have to meet those objectives. So the other thing as well you'll notice is for different phases, so there are 3 blocks in the middle, there are different types of engagement that we will have. Because great having, again, web engagement, having direct sales who'll ring up and be on the phone, that's a great model. But there are also, if we're in the business, as we all are, of making money, and everyone likes to make big money. So, if you're going to go and negotiate an enterprise license agreement with a customer, he doesn't really want to, maybe do that on the internet, via IM. He wants a sales rep who's going to be there, guiding him along the process, making sure that he's getting the best deal, the best discounts. So also, again, for us, it's not just segmenting our customers, but segmenting our customer reps and linking the two together. Okay, so that's really important for us as well, and again, that appropriate level. So in terms of lessons learned, as I said, we've been on this journey for quite a while now. We've had a real renewed focus and effort around it, made a lot of investment in people, a lot of investment in technology. And some of the lessons that we've learned, if I would have spoken to someone when I first started going on this journey and I could have got someone to tell me, best practices or things that you just need to do or need to invest in first, would have been very valuable, okay? So first lesson is 360-degree view of the customer life cycle. Okay, customer buying patterns are changing. Okay, don't need to tell you guys that. It's not a sequential process like with many things in the software industry. Not sequential, not waterfall. It's very cyclical, very iterative. Okay, customers are making decisions much earlier in the life cycle because they have many other ways to get informed. One of the things that I do is I work a lot on our web experience. Okay, and we've just started a project in the past 2 months to really look at what we need to do for our web experience. And one of the biggest things that we need to do there is the appreciation that people are not coming to our website anymore to necessarily, come and get lots of copy, lots of text, lots of information. They're coming to our websites informed. So actually what they want to do is they want to get straight to the trial. Okay? So they want to get straight to the trial, straight to the demo, straight to the product, because they also want to play with it. And this is also a shift that we've seen, is that there is this always software, HP software, is in large part an acquisition company. Okay? We've acquired, as well as having organic growth, but we've acquired a lot of companies, okay, over the years. And those companies sold to practitioners. HP tends to sell to central IT and procurement. And that swing is going back again. Much more focus on the practitioners, much more focus on the end users, and those are the people who have larger budgets to be able to make purchases. They've also got more discretionary budgets within their individual teams. So that means for us that we need to again strike that balance between what do we do with central IT and procurement, who are still there and obviously still have a big role in large enterprises, and how do we refocus on the practitioner? Like we did when we acquired these companies, we acquired them because one of the big things they had were customer bases, users, practitioners. And so one of the things that we've learned is, and I think Guy made this point earlier, it's not now just about looking at the contracts, what your customers have bought. you know, and then following up with them. It's about seeing, okay, even if they haven't bought something, what are customers saying? You know, what are they saying on Twitter? What are they saying on social media? What are they saying on blogs? My other half, he works for a startup, and they have a customer base. It's in the mobile development space. They have a customer base around about 450,000 developers. Okay, when they do something wrong, they hit the blogs and the Twitter like there is no business, and the CEO comes in and he goes crazy. He's like, oh my God, look what's happening. The internet's firing up. We need to, you know, we need to change. We need to react. We need to do something. And that's so important. And we see that as well. So it's not just about, you know, once your customers got the product and yay, you know, you've got them in your sales cycle, looking at that data, but looking before your customer gets there as well. So looking before, looking during, looking, you know, when you make the purchase, and then looking after. Okay, I don't want, and we don't want in HP Software, our customers to come to us with a problem. We want to reach out to them and say, okay, well, how are you using the product? You know, is the product, does it have the right features for you? You know, as well as doing user experience, I lead a product management team. And for me, the biggest thing that I need to do is prioritize features, prioritize functionality, decide what value I'm going to invest in. So having all of that information from multiple different data sources and really looking and treating customers as, you know, as your partners, and you being a partner to them as they go through that life cycle is something really important. And sometimes, you know, we get so caught up in, yay, I've made the deal. You know, okay, well, great, I can go celebrate now. I've got my bonus, excellent, off I go. But, you know, now what you need to look at is you need to look at, well, how does all of that other information come in? You know, how am I going to nurture that customer? And one thing that we've realised in HP Software is the transition costs or the switching costs of moving between different pieces of software, especially with the rise of software as a service and the cloud, have gone down tremendously. And now customers, especially because of those practitioners, because of the end users, you know, it's a lot easier to move. It's a lot easier to say, well, you know what, I'm getting a bit of a poor service over here, or it's not really the features that I need. I'm going to go try out this other vendor. Okay, maybe I'll just try them in my own team. Okay, and then afterwards, you know, when it gets big and bad enough and central IT comes down to me and sort of says that I need to get back on policy, I'll have a conversation. I'll explain to them it's a cheaper price point. It's good enough functionality. I can get it as a service, so you don't have to host everything. Even better. So I think that's one of the great lessons learned that we had is, you know, making sure that you bring all of that data in from the various different sources, but you extract intelligence from it. Okay? It's not good enough to obviously just have the data, but you need to be able to apply the logic to it, apply the algorithms to it, whether that's a person or whether that's technology and software, but be able to do something with it and then be proactive about it. Okay, so you'll have noticed, you know, we have marketing automation tools, we have customer insight tools, we have data analytics tools, because we were like, well, if we're going to do this, and this relates to the next lesson learned, automation is a huge part of this. Okay, because if you're trying to get all of that data and do something compelling with it, yeah, I mean, we're better than anyone, okay? We've got 300,000 people in HP. We can throw people at the problem, no problem, you know? It's fine for us, you know? We can always find someone to throw at it, but it's not going to let you be scalable. It's not going to let you to be quick enough, okay? The processing power of an individual, you know, is that going to compare to what you can do with technology? So one of the biggest things for us is, you know, yeah, you want to start small, okay? And when you start small, you know, we did it as well. Excel and Microsoft, they're your best friend. You know, get all of that data in Excel and, you know, create a little database for yourself as well, maybe. And then you can use that data to go forward. But if you really want to do something intelligent, something smart with it, then you really need to start to look at what are some of the dedicated technologies out there. Build it yourself, buy from one of the vendors. Obviously being here, it's a good, you know, good option, but it's just about automate it. If you really want to be smart about it and also expose it to a lot of people. Okay, this was the other thing that we learned is, you know, yeah, you sort of have to start off doing this with a sort of small SWAT team of people because you want to sort of get that process in place and you want to get the best practices and the playbook in place. But then afterwards, you want to give as many people as possible access to that information and that intelligence, okay? And to get that scale of not only interacting with your customers, but also interacting within your organisation, you know, automation is a very big part of this, and technology. Now, the other piece, which is probably one of the hardest pieces that we've had to face, is people. Okay? No surprise. Any project that you do anywhere, you know, management of change, huge thing that you have to deal with. But one of the biggest changes that we've started to implement, and in some respects it's a lot easier if you're a new company, because you can start that from the ground up, you know, with this type of culture, with this type of DNA and skill set. But one of the big things that we had to make the shift is to say, well, you know what? For example, R&D, right? Development, great. They're used to building piece of software, ship piece of software, hand it off to support, hand it to sales, hand it to marketing, hand it to all the other people, and I'm going to go on to my next really cool piece of technology that I'm going to file thousands of patents on that I think is really exciting. And eventually the product manager will come back to me and he'll tell me that something's not working, we've got defects, we've got enhancement requests. Okay, I'll deal with it then. Making them understand that, listen, dude, from the second that customer purchases that piece of code, that application that you've built, to the second he decides that he doesn't want our software anymore, which we hope won't happen, you're involved, you're there, you're committed, you know? If you want to use the agile analogy, you're the pig, okay? No chickens in this space, everybody a pig, okay? You're committed to the process, you need to be there, you know, we need to have the developers who have got, you know, whatever it is, 24/7 support, okay? And access to, going back to that point before about the users having more knowledge and more intelligence and more smarts about the products that they're using as well. And because it is practitioners, you know, you're not selling to Mr. IT guy over here who is concerned about business value. You're selling to Mr. Developer Practitioner over here who knows any shortcut that you probably could have made with that piece of software, knows how to hack that piece of software, and knows what can and go wrong with it. So you've got to be involved. Okay? Also from a marketing point of view as well, you know, making sure that you're being proactive, you're talking about the value of marketing, you know, you're leveraging all those different ways in which to communicate. You're leveraging the traditional ways, but you're also doing, you know, Google Hangouts, you're doing, you know, blogger days, you're doing Twitter, you're doing social media. All of these different pieces are what's really important. And getting people to accept that change can be one of the most challenging things, because everybody says, yep, I believe in the customer, I'm all about customer value, I'm there, I'm with you. But then, you know, when they're like, well, you're going to get an email at like, you know, 3 a.m. in the morning and I expect you to respond within, you know, under an hour, or, you know, when you start to talk about, well, you know, you're going to have to give up some of your power because the other person in the team is going to take on more responsibility, then sometimes it changes. So one of the biggest things is that change in culture and that change in mind shift. Again, you know, with the sales guys, it's their understanding that they are a partner to the customer, but they're there to communicate that business value, not just to get their bonus and in our case, you know, close the compensation that they might have. They're there to be a partner with the customer and they're there to be with them continuously through the journey. Okay, and people are always the hardest thing to change. So the last part that I'll talk about is, you know, the goal for the future and the goal that we have and why we're doing this. Seems obvious, obviously. But, you know, we want to use all of this data for 3 key things, okay? Because we want sales intimacy. We've got sales intimacy, we've got better relationships, we've got a better opportunity of going to that customer, making that customer a partner of ours, being able to do upsell, being able to do cross-sell. Okay, I'm a big believer in having one-on-one relationships with my customers, knowing them, okay, knowing what their problems are, knowing what their challenges are. The best thing that, you know, the mentality that I take is that a lot of our customers, you know, not our customers, all of our customers in the room, is that when they buy our product, our software, our service, they're making a bet on us, okay? They've got to go to their boss and they've got to say, I'm making a bet on HP, or I'm making a bet on vendor X. Okay, so we owe it to them to make sure that we are making them successful. And in turn, they'll make us successful. You know, they'll come and they'll present at conferences, they'll buy more licenses. Okay, it really is a partnership. Okay, and we want our sales intimacy, we want our sales reps to be able to manage that, to nurture that, and to take it to the next level. So we want to be able to combine, you know, your traditional sales data with also, again, that key word of automation, so that our sales reps can intuitively get information and can be more informed when they go have a conversation with the customer. You know, they know which pages on the web the customer's been looking at. Oh, by the way, I noticed that, you know, 10 people from your company went and looked at, you know, testing software or went and looked at operations software. Can I have a conversation about that with you? I noticed that you follow these people on blogs. Sounds a bit stalkerish, but you can actually go and have a conversation about something different, okay? And, you know, at the end of the day, people like to create personal connections. The other thing as well is obviously customer success and renewals. You know, we are all in the business of making our customers successful with the goal of, you know, making dollars. Okay? It's natural. No one should, you know, we shouldn't apologise for it. It's what we're here for. We want to make our customers successful. We also want to make revenue. We want to be successful as ourselves, as individuals and as companies. So one of the things we want to use with this data is, you know, again, being proactive, be able to go to our customers and, you know, even say to them, okay, well, you've got these licenses, you know, you signed a license agreement, but, you know, you're not using them or you're not using these parts of the product. Is there something that you'd like to maybe swap those licenses out for? You know, are there problems you're having in your organisation that, you know, you want to switch out for? And we are doing that. You know, we're going to customers and we're saying, okay, well, you know, let's look at what your problems are and let's look at how we can change around what you've already invested in us, but actually make it more valuable for you. And the last part is obviously product roadmaps. As I said, from a product management point of view, you know, whenever we come to this stage, and in some of our products, we do, you know, your traditional enterprise software, 12-month releases, and then other products, you know, we are starting to do, you know, releases every month, releases every 2 weeks, especially with SaaS and software as a service, a lot easier to do. So one of the biggest things is, you know, how do we prioritize features? How do we know what customers are using? How do we know what they want next? How do we know what they might actually want, you know, not immediately, tactically next, but strategically in the future as well? So combining those two different worlds of tactical information about what people are using, but strategic direction as well, is obviously going to allow us to create product roadmaps which add immediate value, but also strategic differentiation for us as a company.